All right, everybody, back with another video today. Hope everybody's doing very well. Glad to see all of you. Guys, you might be wondering, Joe, why do you have the wide angle lens on the camera? Why are you not wearing your slippers? And why is your room so messy? Well, I'm going to answer your questions right now, guys. Let's start with why is the room so messy? Guys, the room is always messy. As far as my slippers go, guys, I just walked in the door, so I have my sneakers on, so that explains that. Even though you know my slippers are my normal workout gear, nothing makes me happier than wearing my slippers while I'm exercising. And as far as the wide angle lens goes, guys, today we are going to be doing a very comprehensive breakdown as to why the Tonal and the Handy Gym are kindred spirits. Why do I, Joe, always compare the Tonal to the Handy Gym? You guys might be wondering that. And the reason why I say you guys might be wondering that is because I had one of the awesome viewers of this channel say, Joe, why are you comparing an inertia-based machine like the Handy Gym to an electronic bodybuilding device like the Tonal? Well, let's discuss that today. As far as the Handy Gym goes, I have it hooked up here to the platform, the Handy Gym platform. Now, when you go like this and wind the Handy Gym up, you are going to be watching me do a bicep curl. Okay? That's what we're going to be doing on the Handy Gym. And then on the Tonal, in my test account, we are going to also be doing a bicep curl. The Handy Gym to the Tonal. What are the similarities? You guys might be aware, Tonal has a primarily concentric mode. It's called chains mode, right? So the focus is on the concentric portion of the movement. It has an eccentric mode where the primary force is placed, the weight is placed on the eccentric portion. It has a spotter mode, and it also has a burnout mode, and it has a mode called Smart Flex. Those are all the modes that this amazing machine, the Tonal, has, okay? I'm going to demonstrate to you what these modes are, and then I'm going to compare them to the Handy Gym and its modes. Now, when I say the Handy Gym's modes, it doesn't actually have modes, but the way that the Handy Gym works, it allows you to be able to have the same or similar modes like the Tonal, like all of the modes that I just explained to you, all of the modes that I just spoke about. Okay, so let's dive in. Let's start with the Smart Flex mode. Okay, with Smart Flex, what Tonal is going to do is it's going to read my muscles, and it is going to choose the correct weight at the correct time for that rep. Okay, now what I mean by that is, let's say for example I'm coming up with Tonal and it says, okay, Joe's strong at this movement, it's going to increase the weight. When it sees that my muscles are weak, it's going to decrease the weight. When it sees that my muscles are stronger, it's going to increase the weight. So the weight is fluctuating throughout that rep. That's what Smart Flex mode does, okay? Very, very incredible technology. You're probably like, I can't even believe technology like this exists. Well, it does, and Tonal has it, okay? So let's check out a rep on Smart Flex. I'm just going to throw a 20-pound weight on there. I was doing biceps yesterday, so I'm a little bit fatigued today. All right, let's take this. Let's check it out. It's going to start after the second rep. Here we go. All right, so as we can see on the screen, hopefully you can see, Tonal is fluctuating between 20 and 25 pounds. It's getting harder and easier when it sees that my muscle, oh, my elbow's locking up. Had to use my other arm. So it's getting harder and easier depending on what's going on with my muscle, okay? So it's fluctuating. Now, let's compare that to the Handy Gym. When you pick the Handy Gym up, you are going to have a concentric, obviously a concentric, and then an eccentric. Depending on the amount of force that you can actually give to this machine, it is going to adjust the weight because you're working through a range of inertia. Just like we were just working with a range of weight with the Smart Flex, you're working with a range of weight or inertia, technically it's inertia, with the Handy Gym, okay? So when I go like this, it's working through a range of different inertias. And why is that so good? Depending on the strength that you can physically put into this machine, it's going to give you back a certain amount of inertia, okay? So if I were to go like this, and I'm not putting in too much strength, this machine is going to give you a little bit less back. Just like if Tonal's reading your muscles and it sees that you can't put in a certain amount of strength, it's going to regulate it at that point. If you were to pick this thing up heavy, right? Now it's giving you back more power, okay? Just like with Tonal, with the Smart Flex mode, it's going to increase the weight when you have more power. So when you have more power, it's going to give you more power. And when you have less power to work with, because you're tired or whatever, maybe just not too strong, whatever the case is, it's going to give you less. So that's how Handy Gym compares as far as Smart Flex mode on Tonal goes. We're going to turn Smart Flex off, and now we're going to go to Eccentric mode, okay? Eccentric mode on Tonal is amazing. I don't know if you guys have seen it. If you follow the channel, you've definitely seen it. But Eccentric mode is absolutely phenomenal. What it's going to do is it's going to, after the second rep, it's going to capitalize on the fact that your muscle is stronger on the eccentric phase. So let's say, for example, I'm going to turn Eccentric mode on. It's got a 20-pound starting weight, okay? If it has a 20-pound starting weight, Tonal is going to increase on the eccentric portion that 20 pounds to 25 pounds. Now, you can adjust that to whatever you want, but I'm going to keep it for demonstration purposes because let's hope my arm doesn't lock up again. That was weird, but probably because I didn't warm up. But let's keep it on 20 pounds concentric with an extra 5 pounds eccentric. And let's get into it. Let me show you what that looks like. When you come take a look at this, turn it on. 20 pounds up. This is still 20 pounds. Wait, after the second rep, there you go. Now, an extra... Oh, my arm. All right, so my left arm is not locking up, so I'll use my left arm. 25 pounds coming down. 20 pounds coming up. 25 pounds coming down. 20 pounds coming up. Amazing, right? 25 pounds coming down. All right, let's kill the reps. All right, so as you saw on the concentric, it was 20 pounds and then an extra 5 pounds, which made 25 pounds coming down. How is Handy Gym capable of doing something like this? When you take a look at Handy Gym, you know that Handy Gym is an inertia-based machine. So if you can create a lot of inertia on the concentric portion, you're going to get a lot of inertia on the eccentric portion. So this is a regular rep, right? That's a regular rep, okay? Concentric and eccentric. But if you want an eccentric mode compared to Tonal, where you have extra weight on the end, on the eccentric portion, watch this. I just turned eccentric mode on with this machine. Now, what I did was I lifted very fast with my other limb, right, with my other arm. And what that did was it brought an insane amount of eccentric force down onto this, okay? So I can even lift it with both arms so that I'm getting a concentric. So, for example, I'll lift it with both arms. Now I'm getting a concentric and an eccentric. But it's heavier on the eccentric because I lifted it with this arm and I added more force to that movement with no extra force on this arm. But on the eccentric phase, I allowed this arm to take that eccentric. So that's the eccentric mode on Handy Gym. Okay, I hope that makes sense. Now, let's take eccentric mode off and let's go to chains mode. Chains mode is a very, very interesting mode. It basically is replicating chains on a bar, okay? Now, you might have seen that at the gym. People keep chains on bars. It manipulates the weight in a way where it's going to be harder to actually pick up the weight on the concentric end of the spectrum, and it's going to be easier on the eccentric end. It's basically the opposite of eccentric mode, okay, on tonal. Basically the opposite. So it's going to be harder after the second rep on this machine right now. So I have chains mode on, okay? I have chains mode on. It's going to be harder to pick this up on the concentric and easier on the eccentric. Let's check this out. It's very, very interesting. This machine is absolutely amazing. Let me use my left arm since my right arm is locking up. Okay, it's going to start after the second rep. Now, after this rep, it's going to start. Okay. So, as you guys might be able to see, the heavy part of the weight is on this end, and when I come down, the weight actually drops. So, when I pick this up, it's giving me 21 pounds. When I come down, it drops all the way down to 17, okay? So, 21 pounds coming up, 17 pounds coming down. How is Handy Gym similar to this? Well, if you want a concentric mode or a chains mode, all you got to do is focus on the concentric end of the spectrum, which this machine gives you the Handy Gym gives you a very, very strong potential for concentric and eccentric movement, okay? Does amazing on both. But if you want to focus on your concentric, because some people want concentric based training, right? If you want to do that, all you do is take the eccentric out of the equation, okay? You are basically controlling the amount of eccentric that you take away from this machine. I've explained it in the past, guys. In order to get an eccentric phase on this, you need to learn how to catch that phase, okay? Once you learn how to catch the eccentric on this machine, you're going to know how to manipulate it. What you want to do is you want to catch less of an eccentric and allow more of a concentric. Let me show you. I'm going to show you a rep where there is concentric and eccentric. That's going to be this rep. Concentric, eccentric. Concentric, eccentric. I got both phases. Now, watch this. Concentric. 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 I was only doing concentric movement. That's it. I was not allowing myself to catch the eccentric phase because I wanted a concentric only movement. Now, let's say I wanted to catch the concentric and I wanted a little bit of eccentric. Well, all you got to do is this. See what I did? I can control the amount of eccentric phase I take away from this machine with my own muscles. My muscles, learning this machine, are going to determine how much of that eccentric force I want to take. So I can quite literally just have a concentric only. I can have a regular concentric and eccentric. Or I can have more concentric and less eccentric. You see that? My muscles are controlling the amount of eccentric that I am allowing myself to take from this machine. How incredible is that? How incredible. Guys, I've heard a lot of people get a little bit confused when they talk about the Handy Gym because they're like, well, there's no actual weight. Yes, there's no weight. It's very different than working out with free weights. It's very different than working out with tonal. You know, you type in on tonal, I want 15 pounds, it's going to give you 15-pound equivalent, right? Even though the tonal's weight is actually heavier than regular free weights, okay? But it's going to give you a number to look at. This machine is going to give you a range, a large range. And depending on the inertia discs that you put into this machine, that range changes. This thing allows you to go up to 220 pounds of weight or inertia, okay? It's ripping you up. And yes, you can't determine the exact number of pounds you're using, but you can learn the machine to the point where your muscles know what they need. Your muscles are going to know, do I need to go heavier? Do I need to go lighter? Do I need to catch more eccentric, catch less eccentric? It's all going to depend on your goals, your training, and what you want out of this machine. And you are going to get to know this machine so well, if you give it the opportunity, you are going to be able to utilize this in such amazing, amazing ways. I'm telling you guys, this thing is phenomenal. It is a marvel. It truly is. I've actually, that came right out when I called this a marvel. I've actually called Tonal a marvel in the past, and that is 100% true. That's why I recommend to you guys, if you can, both these machines in your arsenal. You are going to be set for anything that comes your way. Anything that comes your way. If you're on the road or if you're at home. And that's why I say that this machine is a mobile version of Tonal. Okay? Now, we're not done. Let's go and take chains mode off. Now, let's go over to Burnout mode. Okay? Burnout mode is a very beautiful mode. Now, I'm not going to actually be able to show you Burnout mode on this. The reason why is because I would my arm would drop off. Okay? Because I worked biceps yesterday. But what Burnout mode is going to do is it's going to allow you to keep going with the weight. And as the machine sees that you're fatiguing, it's going to slowly decrease the weight. So if it starts off at 17 pounds and I'm repping away and I'm getting tired and I'm like, oh, but I still want to burn out, it's going to bring it down to 15 pounds, then 14, then 13, then 12, all the way down to, I think, 5 pounds. Okay? That's how amazing this machine is. But guess what? You have the same thing with this. You don't have that with free weights, right? You don't. You can't do that with free weights. If I have a free weight right here in my hand, and this free weight weighs 40 pounds, and I'm going like this, if I want to burn out with this free weight, I'm going to have to lower the weight every single time until I get down to like 5 pounds. I'm going to have to keep changing out the dumbbells, right? Or if I have an adjustable dumbbell, I'm going to have to keep putting it back in the machine, taking less weight out, right? Or if I'm stuck with a regular dumbbell, I'm like 40 pounds, and when I get too tired and I can't lift it, I'm like, all right, I'm done. Not with Handy Gym, right? You have a whole range of weights to work with in these little discs. A whole range of weights. You have from like 1 to like, I forget what the blue discs go to, like 79 pounds or something. It's on the website. Whatever the range is, that's what you have. So let's say, for example, because I don't remember the exact ones, let's say the blue discs are from 1 pound to like 80 pounds. You have from 1 pound to 80 pounds on this. And it is so light and compact and non-existent. This thing weighs a couple of pounds. But yet you can do drop sets with this. You can do a burnout mode like on Tonal with this. Let me show you what I mean. If I'm doing this, and now all of a sudden I'm fatigued, right? I'm like, oh, I'm tired. I'm still going. But the machine is giving me less inertia. It's giving me less weight. Why is it giving me less weight? Because I'm not putting in as much energy. You see, the machine is only giving you the amount of energy that you can put in. So I can start off heavy like this. I'm getting some crazy reps. But now I'm tired and I'm like this. But yet I'm still going. I'm still going. I haven't changed the weight. All I did was change the intensity. I can still lift the machine, unlike with dumbbells. It changed the weight, but only because it's giving me back the proper amount of weight that I need. Just like with burnout mode. It's giving you the proper amount of weight that you need in order to keep going. Okay? Now, Tonal also has a spotter mode. What spotter mode is it's a mode where it's basically like a less well-executed burnout mode, okay? Spotter mode is basically like a spotter is going to kick in when it sees that you're struggling, okay? It's going to kick in. So Tonal's going to cut the weight when it sees that you are struggling. It's going to lower that weight. It's going to act as a spotter. It's going to take the weight away from you, okay? When it takes that weight away from you, you can now safely shut the weight off, or Tonal will give you back the same amount of weight as if the spotter helped you, and now it's giving you the weight again for you to go again, right? Well, this, and it's basically, I gotta be honest, it's basically like a poorly executed burnout mode. But it is what it is. It's fine. It has a purpose. It's just not all that great in my opinion. So, this Handy Gym has a spotter mode. It has a spotter mode. And why do I say that? Well, check this out. If I'm tired, or if I'm fatigued, if I'm fatigued and I'm lifting this weight, and all of a sudden I can't keep going, well, what happens if you can't keep going with a dumbbell, right? Let's say you have a 40-pound dumbbell right here. You have a 40-pound dumbbell, and you try to lift it, and you're lifting it, but now your arm fails. Well, that thing's going to fall, right? Not with this. Not with Tonal, right? Because if Tonal catches that you're fatiguing, spotter mode's going to kick in. It's going to take the weight from you, right? But with a dumbbell, no. You have to find a place to put that dumbbell now. You got to grab it with your other arm or whatever. With this, I'm lifting. Now I'm getting fatigued. What do I do? Oh, I just stop. That's it. It's completely immobilized simply by not using it anymore. As soon as you stop the force, the machine stops. You're not going to get hurt with this. I'm tired. I can't lift it anymore, but I'm in the middle of a rep. Oh, okay. That is why I am saying that this machine is the equivalent of this machine. In fact, if you get technical, this machine has more weight capability than the Tonal. The Handy Gym has more weight potential than the Tonal. It goes up to 220 pounds when Tonal can only go technically up to 200 pounds. Now, getting into the whole weight class and how that thing works, that's a whole nother video altogether. But let me tell you guys right now, I have had workouts on this machine that rival this machine. This machine is a beast, okay? It's a beast. If you guys watch this channel, you know all about Tonal. It is a beast. This machine is a smaller beast, okay? This machine is a mobile version of this. You're getting the same thing, except in a mobile version, all right? So that is why I compare these two all the time. I am not afraid to say that these are both just as capable as one another. The only difference is they're each good for something, okay? This is better for home, in my opinion. This is better for mobile. Can you use this, the Handy Gym, while you are at home also? Absolutely. Can you use Tonal while you're mobile? No, you can't. So this technically has more potential all around. The Handy Gym has more all-around potential, okay? Now, I've been asked a million times, Joe, which should I buy? Guys, it all depends on you. It depends on you. Do you like to travel? Do you like to travel? That's what it comes down to. What is your training like, and do you like to travel? My recommendation, guys, if you love to travel or you're not home a lot, you work a lot, invest in this. If you're home most of the time, I would say invest in this. But if you can get both, get both. Because most of the time, people are at home and they're traveling. And when they're traveling, they don't want to miss a day at the gym. When you have this, you never miss a day at the gym. All right, guys? That is my breakdown of these two machines. I hope this helped. I hope this explained the reason why I compare the two all the time. They are both phenomenal and have so much potential when it comes to building mass, when it comes to exercise. They are both incredible machines, and I really hope this helped. All right, guys? Take care, and I'll talk to you at the next video.